Hi there, welcome to the Rust Cover Cottage by Christina. My name is actually Joey, and my page that I come to you on, I come to you on the Rust Cover Cottage page. My crafting page is called Created in Awe, and you can find me here on Facebook. I did put a link to it in the description, but I have been invited by Christina to come in and show you one of her wood kits. And this is one that you may have seen before in a different way. I'm going to show you how this kit actually comes to you, and we're going to play with a couple of different things you can do with it. If you're coming in on replay, let me know you came by. Say hi to Christina in the comments, a hashtag replay or something like that. And one of us will come back and hopefully be able to answer all your questions. If you're here live, say hi. I'm going to refresh my screen, and I should be able to see it down here. Yay! And we do have sound, and it looks pretty good. Looks pretty good. I know it's backward. Can't do anything about that anymore. Facebook is not letting us flip that screen. Hello, Christina is here in the comments. Say hi to Christina when you come in. Hi, Miss Nancy. Thanks for being here. So I'll show you the kit that we're going to do here in just a second. I'm making sure I have everything in the right place. Well, I don't know if there's a right place, but an expected place is what I'm looking for, where I will know where to look for it when I get to that point. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Hi, say hi, hi, hi. Hi, Sharon. Thank you guys. Hi, Suzanne. Thanks for coming in. Oh, I'm going to go ahead and share this over to my page. I just remembered I need to do that. There we go. We're going to share that over, and hopefully some of my people will get to see it. They may not be getting notifications right now. I don't know. I did let my Telegram and Messenger channels know earlier, about a couple hours ago, that we were going to be here. So hopefully they will come on over and say hi. And let me go ahead and get started. Let me show you the kit. Now, I have a collection with Christina that we work on together called Farmhouse Charm Inspired by Joey. This kit is actually not part of that collection. This is part of her regular, just straight Rust Cover Cottage by Christina collection on her website. There are two ways you can get to this kit right now while you're watching. There is a featured link that shows up over here next to, I don't know if I can point to it. Next to the comment box is a little double chain link. So if that little black box that was on the screen when you started watching is gone, you can get to it by tapping that button. And then when you tap the button for the kit, which is the Chunky Egg Shelf Sitters, you'll be able to go to her website while we're chatting and see what it's all about. You can also shop her entire website while you're there. If you can't see that, I'm going to put it down here in the comments. Hi, Miss Linda Miller. Yay, you're getting to say hi to Christina. That's awesome. This is the kit right here. I am an affiliate to, oh, I got it. Okay, I got it. It has to give me a little notice that says be nice. I'll be nice. That link that I'm putting in the comments and I will pin also takes you to the kit. It'll take you out of Facebook. If you want to go over there and shop a little bit and come back and see what we're doing in a little while, that is fine. Or if you're on replay, anytime. Why did I not go back? Okay. Oh, I don't think I was able to pin that. Maybe Christina can pin it. Either way, if you still need the link later on, let me know in the comments or let Christina know, and we can come back and get you that link. I am an affiliate. If you see any other Facebook crafters come in on Christina's page to do kits, we're all affiliates for her, and she is so very generous to provide us with a percentage of that kit cost in order to help her show you how to do the kit. So this is a different way. I know Christina did an absolutely gorgeous version of this kit. I'm sorry if you hear my dogs barking. They are in a tizzy because somebody just came by a little while ago to mark lines in our yard. We're going to have French drains put in a certain area. Fun stuff. And they're just all up in arms. So they're going to be barking at everything that happens outside. I apologize. So you're getting 9 eggs in this kit, technically. You may have seen Christina's where she put the eggs together and stacks. Okay, so she took the 3 that were the same size. There's 3 different sizes of eggs, and 3 of each of those sizes. So she took the 3 that were the same, stacked them together, and she did some molded trim pieces on the front, and a bow, and a gorgeous paint technique with glazing and everything. So they were chunky eggs that would stand up on their own. I don't know if you knew this, but within that set there are 3 different variations of a front finish on these eggs. So you have the solid, nothing fancy, solid wood. This is all 1/4 inch birch, high quality wood, and if you stain this, it's going to give you a really pretty wood grain, which is part of what we're going to be doing. There's also one that looks like shiplap, so it has the engraved lines. They're not separate pieces of wood, it's one piece of wood with the engraved lines. And then there is a floral version with engraved flowers and leaves on it. Okay, so you have these 3 different variations in all 3 sizes. So here are your medium sizes. Okay, and then you have the 3 small ones. Okay, so if you wanted these to be nice and thick and chunky and stand up on their own and just do one kind of finish on the front of it, just stack them up with whichever version you want on the front, glue them together, and they become basically one egg shape. Now I'm splitting them up, okay, so I'll show you how we're going to do putting it together in a little while. I want to show you first, let's work on kind of finishing these out. So my solid ones for right now are going to just have a stained finish, okay, and you'll see why at the end. I've decided my shiplap versions are going to have like a whitewash look over the stain, and then I haven't decided yet, you're going to have to help me decide how I'm going to do the floral. I want it all to be just a 2-tone. So we're starting with wax. I'm doing a dark sealing wax. You could pretty much use any kind you like. You could even use like Waverly's antique wax and a paintbrush or a wet wipe or something to apply it to get the same kind of look. I'm going to use a brush and the antique wax. Plus, all the tags. Oh goodness, I forgot about the tags. I've used them in different projects, and I don't know what I did with all the rest of them. I'm so glad you mentioned that, Christina. I have been so scattered lately that I don't know. I wasn't going to use them for this, but I had them. Did I put them over here with all of my wood pieces? I may have actually, surprisingly, put them away. Let's see if they are in a box. Ugh, I haven't seen it yet. It might be on the other side. Sorry if you hear crashing noises. I don't know if I put them all together in a box or if they are somewhere else. I'm not seeing them. What did I do with them? Oh, now I'm really mad. They're really cute. They have words like, here we go. I used one of them on this guy. It says Happy Easter. And there's different sizes of tags, and there's spacers that come in there with it. And okay. Oh my gosh, I can't believe that. They're around here somewhere. Now I'm going to be mad until I find them, but I won't be able to do that right now. I want to get to crafting. Wasn't going to use them, but with this exact project, I just want the eggs, and then we're going to do something with the final finish. But don't put things away. Oh, I know. If I don't, I end up with the mess that, thankfully, you can't see. You can't see all of my mess around here. Hopefully it won't totally fall. Let me see if I have them over here in a baggie. Oh, no, they're not over here either. I'm mad at myself. I'll find them, but there's a huge selection of different sizes. And you can use them like little tags if you want to, or incorporate them into other projects like I did on that little cutting board back there. Let's get started. Oh my gosh. The kit itself, it all comes together in one kit. Like I said, 1/4 inch thick birch for each of the 9 pieces of eggs, and all of the tags and all of the spacers that come with those. Your shipping is included, and it is cut to order. So as soon as you order it, within a few days, she's going to have it cut, packed, and shipped out to you. And there is no extra cost for that shipping. It's all included. So let's get started. Everything is going to have the wax, and I'm not even going to worry about like, you know, putting this out on or taking off the excess onto a paper towel. I'm just going to put it straight on, okay? Straight on. Especially these solid eggs. I want them to be the darkest. Okay, they're going to have a nice heavy coat. If it is too heavy, I can come back and lighten it up. Just go ahead. I'm just basically smoothing off that excess that goes over the edge. So, oh my gosh. Just doing that, you get the gorgeous wood grain to come through. So pretty, so pretty. I'm going to let that set and kind of cure. Sorry, my nose is dripping all of a sudden. I guess it's once I start to talk a lot that my nose does this. Okay. And the last one of the solid eggs. I'm doing the same thing on all of them, and then the other 2 styles are going to have kind of a special treatment to them. All right. Like I said, you could take a baby wipe or paper towel to make that application, but there's those 3 eggs. Set them aside. They're in the photo. That's right. They're in the photo on the website. I think, do you also have the version that you made pictured on the website? Because they need to go see that. If they haven't seen it on your page, it is stunning. All right. We're doing the same effect on this guy. The shiplap version. I want this wax especially to go down into the engraved lines, because these eggs are going to end up with a kind of a whitewash finish, and I want those engraved lines to stand out. Now they do stand out a lot because of that wax. So making sure that wax, in fact, if I go kind of side to side, it helps to push it down into the grooves. All right. So we'll get all of these done. Hope you're having a great week so far. It just started. But I can't believe we're getting so close to Easter, guys. I know it's kind of last minute for me to be doing an Easter craft and you to be able to order these. But, Christina, can you tell me, is it going to be really cutting it close if they order these right now? Because I know you have quite a backlog of... I'm assuming, because you were doing taxes last week, that you may have a backlog of orders. I don't know where you stand. But let us know if you think this can get to us before Easter. If not, I still think this is going to be a really cute spring design. And I'm going to do this to set on my mantle. I'm not seeing the comments now. If I have missed you, I'm going to come back and do some hellos if I can. I know Christina is here to say hi. Let's go ahead and do up. So here's our shiplap version. Okay, showed that to you already once. Let's go ahead and do the floral. And then we'll decide on the final look for the floral after we do the others. I hope I have time. I may not have time to do what I'm thinking I will be doing with this, but you guys may be able to chime in, give me some ideas, and you might be changing my mind. So I'm working that wax down in. I think this is so pretty just with the wax on it to give it a stained look. Almost there. Just the last two. I have a lot of wax on this brush. Let's be generous and bring it over to the last egg. Okay, working it into those engraved lines. And then a little bit more. I don't know, maybe that guy is back in the yard like marking lines again. Maybe he's back and that's why they're barking so much. Can you hear them? Can you hear them barking? I hope you can't. Apologize if you can. Okay. There we go. Kind of smoothing off my... If I leave this rough looking, you won't be able to see the floral as well. So I'm trying to kind of smooth off the top layer of the wax. There we go. Okay, I'm done waxing. Done with the wax. If you need a dark sealing wax, you can get, it's hard to read. I know you won't be able to read it. It says the Spruce Best Home. It's made by Kilz, K-I-L-Z, dark sealing wax. I get it on Amazon. But there's a lot of different types out there. Let me get some of this wax off my fingers. I'm just going to use a wipe and a paper towel because it's super wet. Okay, now here's my plan. I'm not going to worry about those solid eggs. We're going to start with the shiplap eggs, and we're going to do a kind of a whitewash technique, and I think I'm going to use this chip brush. I do want those etched lines to stand out. So instead of doing my brush technique as I drop the egg straight with the paintbrush going flat against it, kind of horizontal up and down. I am going to go up and down, but I'm going to turn it this way so I can kind of get focused on the wide areas of the shiplap look, okay? Let's get a tray and pour out, actually, yeah, because I can't put this down into the bottle. Whoop, I don't need a lot. And I'm going to use 2 of these little trays. You can use a little plastic lid. I think you can get some little tray type things at Dollar Tree. Okay, so I'm just going to tap this down into the paint, okay? Not super heavy, okay? It's loaded up a little bit. And now I'm going to dab it off into a tray. It actually works it up into the bristles a little bit, okay? But it also kind of thins out how heavy it is on those bristles. Okay. Still feels kind of heavy. Let's start with the big one. I may have to go to smaller brushes on the little one. And I'm going to lightly go up and down, focusing in between the shiplap lines, starting with just a little bit, and then we'll add more, okay? If these lines that are engraved in are not showing up, I will come back and highlight, not highlight those, but kind of clean them out. Okay, so we've got, oops, I've got some nail marks on there. Okay, so can't really see those etched lines very well, so I'm going to take a stick pin. Okay, this is just a standard old stick pin, and find those etched lines, and I am going to drag that stick pin. This is easy to do with these nice straight shiplap lines, just so we can see them again. And you can go as heavy or as light as you want to on this look. Now You can see those lines. I think it's so cool. I think it's so cool. And then you're going to have some of these side by side, so you get a contrast. Let's go ahead and do, we'll go ahead with this, the medium one. I don't want it to be exactly the same as the first one, but I want it to be about the same amount of paint. Okay, there's number 2 before we clean out those etched lines. I keep saying etched, engraved, scored, I'm not sure which. I think the engraved term is used for the flowers. I think these are scored because these are not quite as deep. It's just the way it was designed. All right, here's that one. You can see those scored lines much better in person. All right, a little more paint, and we'll do, okay, that one's getting kind of heavy. It's okay. It's going to have its own look. They're going to be unique. There. I think that looks good. It's a little heavy right there. So we'll kind of even it up a little bit. Get some of this paint cleaned up. And then and try to drag through those scored lines pretty quickly after you have painted, before that paint has enough time to really dry and set up. There we go. Can't see that last one very well. All right, there you go. There you go. Got a little excess on the edge. All right, so now I can let those dry. Hello, Miss Rose. Hi, Denise. I see you guys saying hi, and I know I've missed some of you. So let's just take a look at how these look together. So just for an example, we'll take the medium-sized ones and kind of put them side by side. Where's my medium floral? Here's my medium floral. So you can see what we're looking like, okay? So if you did a trio, now these two over here are like almost the same. So we need to do something to kind of make this one stand out a little bit. This one's going to be more of a backdrop, and then you've got the painted shiplap. So my thought is to fill in the flowers and the leaves with the same, and I'm using plaster color from Waverly, the same paint in a watered down version. I don't know that it has to be watered down. I think let's start with it solid. Okay, I have a teeny tiny paintbrush, and I'm going to start, let me not have too much on there, with a little tiny flower over here on the side. And I'm just going to fill in. It doesn't have to be perfect. This is absolutely not work perfect. It's a little bit rough, which goes with the look of this. Because of the stained look that we have, and because of the whitewash, it all has a little bit of a rustic feel. And these are not going to be perfect. And I can actually clean off what went outside of the lines a little bit. There we go. Okay, so now you can see that one little flower. Let's go ahead and come on down and do in the leaf. I am going to try not to get too much paint over the scored line in the leaves so that those show. So I won't do all of these. we'll do this one, or at least part of this one. And I can finish filling them in later before I take a picture to show you. But I am going to do enough of this for you to get a good idea of what it's going to look like when it's done. Some of it's thin, some of it's thick. Let's go ahead and do, let me clean out this line. Okay. I think for this little guy, I'm going to do the outside of the flower and not the inside, and I'll show that to you here in a second. Now this is just one option. Christina's layered look, where they become like really chunky shelf sitters, is so pretty. But I thought I wanted to do something just a little bit different for you. Just another idea. You can also, I think it's really fun that you can split these up into individual eggs for 9 different projects if you wanted to, or you can combine some of them, maybe one of each size together, and make 3 different egg projects. They could still be layered, kind of like the chunky shelf sitter. Maybe staggered, so you have a trio with 1 in the front and then 2 in the back, or 2 in the front, 1 in the back. That let me get more paint on here. Lets you see all 3 eggs, and the designs can stand out a little bit more. Alright. You don't have to have a super steady hand for this because it's a little bit rustic looking. Okay, doesn't have to be perfect. Do want that little etched engraved line around the flower right there to show. Yeah. Okay, so here's a couple of the flowers, just kind of highlighted. I might do some more inside. I'm still deciding, guys. I'm still deciding. So that's an idea of what that's going to look like. Now, here's my plan. I want to put these all together to be a mantle display. So it's going to be all 9 eggs stacked up together, kind of staggered, like I was saying, where you could do just the 3, but we're going to do all 9. Now, they may not stand up. Sometimes I don't have the best luck making my pieces stand up when I glue them together. If they don't, I got myself some of the large 5-gallon paint stir sticks, and I can use that as a base to glue them to. Okay, so one other thing I want to do is I want to stencil on one of them. One of them is going to be in the very front, in the middle area, and it's going to be one of our background eggs, and I want it to say Easter blessings. Okay, this is a stencil from Magnolia that it comes in a 2-pack. It has the egg and then it has the bunny. I did these on tea towels a couple of days ago, but I just want the words, and I really like how this is written. You could handwrite this. You may have other stencils. This is waxed, so it shouldn't stick too bad. All I'm going to do is line up the words in the middle of the egg. I've already measured, and this one fits across. This is sliding. The wrong piece is sliding. I want this to slide. Those words fit across the middle pretty nicely. Just want to make sure from edge to edge they're centered and it's straight. Okay, now the color of paste that I'm going to use, I want it to look very similar to the plaster color, so I can't use just straight white. I think that will look a little too stark, and then we have an almond latte that's a little too creamy. So I'm going to blend these together. I'm going to get another tray. I think I have, this one is fairly clean. And a couple of stir sticks. And I only need a tiny bit. Mostly white. Okay. Mostly. Let's get enough. Mostly white. And then a little bit of the almond latte. About half as much maybe. Let's go ahead and blend these together. Just to give it a creamy white look. Not really completely cream, not completely white. Trying to get that plaster color. I think I need to add a little more of the white to achieve that look. So I always start with a little bit. Try not to mix too much. You want to make sure you have enough. That's going to be good. That's going to be good. Okay. I'll get the lids on those in a second. Now I'm going to grab a squeegee. Is Miss Anita here? Hello, hello. Okay, so we're going to load up our squeegee with our mixed paste. Okay. If you haven't seen the Magnolia stencils before, they are reusable because we're using a chalk paste that is washable. So, I have to make sure it is smoothed down because it sticks to the surface. And I apply the paste just to the area that I want. See, I have more than enough. Let me clean this off. Okay, clean off my excess from the stencil. I'll wash all that. And I go ahead and remove the stencil. Oh, it's so pretty. And it says Easter Blessings, and this is almost exactly the same color as the plaster. It's a little bit creamier, but that's okay. And I will, in a little while, I'll take this to the sink and wash it along with all of this. That will all get washed up. And these, and that way it can be reused. All right, so we've got that going. I think I'm going to go ahead and fill in these. Now that I look at this flower, I want to fill it in. My paint's almost dry in this brush. Unfortunately, let me get it just a little bit wet. A little bit wet. Because it got kind of thick. There we go. Okay. Now I'm going to fill in this center of the flower. It just looked a little bit too messy that way. There we go. Yeah, I like that better. So that's how I'll be painting these. You should still be able to see that engraved line a little bit. The center is a little bit lighter than that outside edge. There we go. There. Oh, I think that's cute. I like that better. I like that a lot better. Okay, so let me show you how these are going together. And we'll find out if they are going to work. I have a picture I've already pulled up of how I want them to look. Go ahead and put that in my water. So this is what we're doing. We've got, I have it set up, and I'll do the internal flower painting later. I won't do all of that for you right now. This one is going to be in the very center. The big ones are in the back, and then I layer the medium and the smaller ones over the front. Okay, so there's our big ones, and then I have this shiplap one here, and this one over here. I have, no, here. Yes, okay, just spread it out a little bit more. Then I have this little floral in the very front here. This one over here. Our Easter Blessings stenciled one is going to be right there so you can see it in the center. And then the last one is the solid little egg on the far right. Okay. Oh, that looks so pretty. I'm going to like the flowers highlighted too. So let's do some gluing. I'm going to glue from the top down. So this is the very top here. So I'm going to glue these two together. And I'm going to use my straight edge. I'm going to grab one of these stir sticks to use as a straight edge. There we go. Cut the dang plastic off. Come on. Let's go like that. I know I cut through it. It doesn't want to come open. There. Well, these are not easy to cut apart, cut open. There we go. I only need one of them because I measured, and this is 21 inches long, and it's a good length if I end up having to use this as a base. So we'll go ahead and get this out, and I'm just going to use it as a guide. See, I can do the bottom edge of this egg right near the end and the bottom edge of this egg near the end. I'm going to straighten them up together and use it to make sure they're straight. So we've got a combination here. I've got Titebond glue, and in fact it's been laying on its side, and I've got my Stick Fast Thick. I'm going to get that laying on its side. So, because they're both getting kind of low. I didn't see questions before I hopped over to my picture. Pam is here. You might have to go back and catch the beginning on replay. We've done several things so far. Okay, so I'm going to start with these two eggs. I'm going to glue them together on the front. Okay, I'm not going to put any glue on the back side or on the underneath side until I know if I need to glue it to this face. And I'm only gluing like 3 or 4 together, not the entire row, so that maybe if it stands upright with just gluing a few at a time, they can be in segments, and then I can take them apart and store them later. So I'm going to do these 4 together, and I'm going to do these 2 together, and then I'm going to do these 3 together. So let's do, right in here is where these are going to glue. Move that over slightly. Oh, come on. There we go. Get some wood glue. This is just where the 2 eggs, these 2 are going to be touching. Come on. There we go. Both the wood glue and the Stick Fast, so we have a quick bond. There we go. Now bring these 2 flat against the ruler or the paint stir stick. Nope, don't move on me. Hold that until it's set. Okay, that's good. Now I'm going to glue this shiplap one and this shiplap one to the back one. So let's start here with this guy. I think I need to spread this around a little bit more. We can use a little bit more. Oh my goodness, poor Maggie. Can you hear her? I can hear her this whole time. She's been barking. Okay. Well, that needs to come down. All of these need to be even. Go. And then this right here is going to glue to that one. Hold these so they don't, I don't think they're going to come apart now. Now the back of these, I do recommend finishing them out with, I would just do the same stain technique that you do on the front. I'm going to do the dark sealing wax across the entire back of it so that it's all evenly distributed and it all looks the same. Okay. Now I'm going to give that a second to set up, and then we're going to do a test to see if it stands up. We'll see if it stands up. Oh, you're saying hi to Maggie and Ruby, Miss Anita. Yep, they are downstairs wanting to talk. Okay, get that. I think it should be set up now. Let's see if it stands. Ooh, that stands nicely. So we've got these three together. Okay. Here's how we look, and I will do the painting on the flowers on that one. Now this one and this one are going to be glued together. So let's get, and this is nice and dry on the front. I will also seal these with a clear matte spray sealer. That will seal the wax, and it will seal the chalk paste and the paint, the chalk paint, so that nothing affects it. It won't get scratched. It won't get, hold on, let me bring this back over where it's going to stand so I know my placement. There we go. Nothing will disturb the finish. It'll all look great. This is so much more helpful to use this rather than try to stand them up on the table like I've done before. That's not always been the best option for me. Hasn't always worked well. Okay, let that set up. Now these three guys are going to be glued together, and I'm keeping everything in line. So let's go ahead. I know I'm going to cover up some of my paint, and that's okay. Let's glue these guys together first. There we go. Everything is standing upright. There. What do you think of this whole combo? Do you like how it's coming together? I know it's going to be hard for you to see it from your angle. That was not quite straight here, guys. There we go. A little excess glue coming out. Wipe that off. That wood glue is coming out. Okay. And then the last one is going to be right at the very end. So if you did come in late, you might be confused as to why some of these little white flowers are painted and some are not. All of the flowers will end up being painted with the white, with the plaster color paint. Oh, 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 oh. Covering up so much of that little white flower, but that's okay. We're going to paint the others. I just didn't even think about the fact that those were going to be covered up. Let's hope that we got this one straight. I don't think I did. That's better. That needs to be straight, and that needs to be straight. And then that needs to set up. And then I will get it all standing up. Now, like I said, we still have to test this, make sure all of these pieces stand up the way I want them to. Wrong lid. And then we'll know if we need to do the stir stick for the base. Okay. Gotta let that set for a second. All right. Here's our test. I'm going to go ahead and set it on this because this mat is not even. It's not nice and even. So here we go. These should be set up. These guys would stand up. And then this one comes in right behind. It's working. Now it may be a little unstable for you. You may not want, these may like have a heavy like fan turned on and knock them over, so you may want to go ahead and put them on a base. I'm still deciding, but that is, yeah, that one's not quite as steady. Make sure these are going to stand up. What do you think? Should we glue them to the base? What I would do is I would stain this guy. It does have some inch markings on the ruler, so I'll flip it around so those are in the back. But there is our egg mantle piece, basically, except I will be filling in some of these flowers. What do you think? What do you think? Do you like it? Thank you, Nancy. So I'm trying to look in the screen. It looks pretty good. And these are, that's not the glue, that is actually the flowers. So we'll have more of those flowers painted. I like it. Okay, let's go ahead and I will hold it up closer to you, like so. If it will stay, this is how it's going to look. Except you'll have more white in the flowers and with our little pretty little Easter blessing stencil. What do you think? Oh, thank you, Suzanne. Thank you so much, Christina. I appreciate you letting me be here on your page. If you came in late, you are on the Rust Cover Cottage by Christina's page. I am Joey with Created in Awe, and I am just one of the affiliates that gets to come in here and demonstrate some of the kits that she has. So there's an affiliate link for my affiliate, and so it helps me out if you decide to purchase on that link. It's a featured link for the video, and then it's also a comment. I don't think it got to be pinned, but it is a comment in the list of comments. If you have any questions, you can let Christina know, or you can let me know, whichever you like. If you enjoyed the video, you can also follow my page. The link to it is in the description, and I so much appreciate you guys being here. Enjoy the chunky egg shelf sitters in whatever form you decide to use them, and I hope I get to see what you've made with them, or if you end up ordering, what you will make. So thank you so much for being here, guys. I'm going to lay this down so I don't knock it over. I will finish painting in the flowers, and then we will get some pictures posted. So you guys have a great rest of your day.